Our next contest of the Better Photography Weekly Challenge is Magic of Monochrome. Our judge and mentor is Ashima Raizada. Her practice involves an investigation in colors, material, space, philosophy, and how the synthesis of these concepts take the form of paintings, photographs, and drawings. She has exhibited at Uniqlo Tate Modern London, and has been the artist in residence at the Piramal Art Residency. Ashima has received the State Award from Chandigarh Lalit Kala Academy and was also awarded the Raghurai Scholarship in Multimedia Arts by Punjab Lalit Kala Academy. She was chosen by the Hindustan Times as one of the top 30 under 30 young achievers in 2018. Currently, she is working as a photo editor of Blink Dolta.
Hello, everyone. So, this week's Better Photography Challenge is on the theme of magic of monochrome. And indeed, there is a lot of magic in monochrome. And as Elliot Ovid rightly says, color is descriptive, black and white is interpretive. But let's get into understanding whys and whats of monochromatic photography. So, first of all, what is black and white photography? Black and white photography or monochrome photography is the art of using different tones ranging from white to dark to create many compelling images. And I think its beauty lies in the fact that it's more subtle and less realistic than color photography. Also, there are not direct renditions of the subjects but are abstractions from reality. And the images tend to highlight the sensitivity within the subject rather than the subject itself, because the distractions around in terms of colors or in terms of hues or shades or gradients are absolutely toned down. And I think for me, the most fascinating thing about monochrome is that it's able to amplify the mystery, and it's able to reduce the descriptiveness of the image that we're looking at. When you look at a black and white image, it's not as, it's not as comprehensive, or it's not as descriptive. There's kind of like a lucidity to it or a timelessness to it. And coming to that, the last point, that they're literally timeless. The element of time tends to kind of go away from the imagery. Very few and some very practical tips uh, as to how to go about this challenge. So, the first thing is to unlearn. And why I'm saying that is because whenever we try to approach any challenge or any particular theme, we would always like go up on the internet, or we would look around to see many references for it. So we get an idea about how that particular image or how that particular theme should, be approached, which is personally for me problematic, because I will not be able to see you in that image, but I will be seeing the different references that you might have taken from, or different inspirations that you might have taken from around. So I think it's really important to kind of not have an idea as to what a good black and white photograph should look like. And the only idea that you should have is that what you want to photograph and how you want to do it. So that is the first point. Then is subject as a symbol. So I think for this particular point, I'd like to show you one of the photographs that I made. It's this one, subject as a symbol. So when I started the project of physical implications of oneness, somewhere in 2018, that's when I took this particular photograph. I was thinking, or I was not just thinking, but I was also like trying to read up a lot about this symbol of eye, or just eyes, like what does eyes stand for, more than just a physicality. What is the history of it, and where is it coming from? Because nothing ever exists in isolation. So I would encourage people to think about their subjects not only as something that they're fascinated by, but also what does it symbolize in today's time, or in whichever time, but what does it stand for, you know? So thinking on those lines will give much more depth to the photograph that you will be taking or you will be making eventually, and also will give you a better understanding as to why certain things fascinate you. So coming back to the third point, which is experimentation, I feel that experimentation is a direct consequence of unlearning. And I also feel that we do not experiment enough because we are kind of always stuck in the idea of, how this should be or that should be, or what is trending or what is the current narrative and how it should be done, or how the medium should be approached a certain way because it has been being approached a certain way for a long time. So I think experimentation is very crucial. Just work around with themes, work around with layouts, work around with different concepts. Like for example, this particular image by Daido Moriyama, it's as simple as just like a woman wearing tights, but the angle, the way it has been shot, it becomes something else altogether. Something like this, I think this is a very interesting way if you're working around with self portraiture or portraiture in general, working around with different angles, trying to find shapes and patterns. I mean, something like something like this mustache of Dali, which is like really iconic. But the way this has been shot because of the angle, it just makes it entirely something else. So experimenting with, you know, different ways of looking, and something like this. I shot this image recently, a few weeks back, and this is just like a cow that was sitting in a park. But I was really fascinated by how, like the shape and the leaves and everything which was coming together, and these rails of the swing which were coming together. It just, it's not as descriptive, but it also is, there's a kind of like a mystery to it as well. So I think experimenting with not just thoughts and shapes, but also like different ideas around it. That brings me to the last point, which is honesty. And I think this is a very important point because it's important to make honest images. And when I say honest, again, it's about taking photographs of what you like and not what you think should be taken or should be photographed, and what is, what you've seen of black and white photography till now. I think I would encourage you all to think a little out of the box, have the courage to work around with the layouts, with different ideas, with different subjects, and not just stick yourself to the certain ideals of how a proper black and white image is. um, Also, like, try to observe your surroundings. Like, this is like the hand of my brother who was just trying to paint, and not paint on the front but on the back side of the canvas. So these little quirky observations can really make some very interesting moments, and just be observant. And you don't always have to go out, you can just observe your surroundings uh, within the space that you're occupying, and you can find something really interesting there as well. So yeah, I think basically these 4 points uh, would be my tips for you to approach this challenge, and that would be it for me. Thank you.